Well, let's move on to another theme that is somehow related to climate change, which is development. Many people don't really know. That's the feeling I had when I received the question from the community. Some were wondering about where the US and EU collaboration stands regarding development. What do they do together? Is it really coordinated or not?
We are coordinating and we need to do a better job. One of the things that I expect will be discussed at the upcoming US-EU summit will be how we can coordinate better on development. It is a good time for us to have this discussion because the EU is, two things are happening in the EU. One is they are coming up with a new budget for their development funding, and also the new External Action Service will be, I think, a significant new player on the development scene, if you will, because there'll be, for the first time, a merger in the EU between their diplomatic efforts and their development efforts. And on our side, we have come out with a new approach to development, a more updated approach, if you will, which President Obama announced at the United Nations in September. So I expect that our leaders will talk about how we can work together, whether there are ways that we can coordinate our efforts, actually even on the ground, some pilot programs together where we can make our development resources work more efficiently together, making sure that we're looking at development in the same way in terms of measurable results and metrics and whatnot. So I do think that this will be an important discussion to have. Well, you mentioned Afghanistan. It's probably a good example here. Obviously, we're all concerned about the tragedy in Afghanistan, but our hope is that over time we will evolve from a combat situation to one where our effort there with Europe is to help stabilize the Afghanistan economy and to help allow the Afghanistans to get their country back and run it. And that's really what that development effort is all about. There is, I suppose there's always a political aspect of development. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because many of the development dollars that we spend is to help stabilize difficult areas of the world. It's not only disaster relief, but it's capacity building, rule of law, things that people need. And sort of, people can draw different conclusions as to whether that's good or bad, but that's what development is.
I'm talking about skepticism. It may have make some questions regarding development popping up that were not really planned, and there were some that were regarding the different international institutions like the IMF, the World Bank, WTO, and their role in a way impeding development in non-Western countries, and the fact that Western countries are keeping control of the setting of the agendas of these institutions. And many of them, a few readers actually, were wondering when Western countries will loosen up a bit on the definition of the agenda for development within these key institutions.
Well, that is happening. It's happening as we speak. One of the things that President Obama has insisted on is that as we talk about these issues of global governance, that there be more people represented at the table. So he pushed hard, for example, to expand the G8 to the G20 so that there would be, at least on a lot of the financial issues that are talked about, there'd be more people at the table. His administration has insisted the same thing happened at the IMF. So our president recognizes that there needs to be voices from emerging markets as they have more influence and clout in the world. They have to have a seat at these tables, and he's worked hard. It's ruffled some feathers, quite frankly, but it is definitely the right thing to do. He believes in it, and I think the world community increasingly is embracing this. He was in India just this week, and he announced that he believes that India should have a permanent seat on the UN Security Council. So this is a great recent example of how our president agrees completely with your thesis that there should be more seats at the table as the world changes.